Hello and welcome to the Corner 3 Show. My name is Alex.
My name is Ross.
My name is Zach.
And welcome to the most average podcast about the most average basketball team in the NBA.
I was trying to be more excited. Check out our background for those actually who can see us.
Yeah, for those watching on YouTube and not you iTunes people, which we love all of you, we are in the Mac Arena. We're the home of the Corner 3 Show League.
Yes.
This is where all goes down, people.
Hopefully the audio sounds good. There's some echo.
There might be some echo.
But don't try to do it on purpose.
Nice job, Ross. Anyways, we're here to talk about the most average team in basketball, the Indiana Pacers.
This is correct.
This is correct.
When is the season over?
Not soon enough.
Oh.
So let's get straight into it. Pacers beat the Jazz actually on this past Monday, last time we were doing our show, 107-100. I don't think, did we call it? Let's call this one? Because
I think we all
Ross
did, actually.
have it. I think we all
you know what? I
picked
should have
Jazz.
taken a deeper look at the Jazz, though. This is one of their last games of the road trip. I think it was their last game of the road trip, and they have been struggling recently.
Zach
I read
changed
some
mine last
articles
second.
recently on The Ringer today about how they've been struggling, but Pacers get the dub surprisingly here.
That was the game that Gordon Hayward looked awfully good and made fans say, maybe we should think about signing him, because through three, he was dominating the matchup between him and PG. He actually finished with a career high 38 points, but when the points mattered at the end, Paul George stood up.
This is my city.
This is his city.
my city.
This is my city.
You know what, though? I was looking at that, and, Paul George, he's been known to, get really hyped like that. I wonder if Hayward said anything. I mean, he's not the type to trash talk, but this year he has obviously gotten more aggressive in his play, and he stared down the Greek Freak after his dunk on him. I wonder if, G-Time said, this is my city. This is my city at some point.
Good. Hey, Ross can explain. Can you explain the plus or minus to me? Just because I wanted to bring it out. Gordon Hayward had 38 points. He was -9 on the plus-minus. Paul George only had 19 points. He was 30% shooting, and he was +9.
That's just
How
when
does
they're
plus-minus
in,
work?
what
Yeah,
the team
what the lineup does.
What the lineup does?
But
so while Gordon Hayward was in, the team actually lost points to the Pacers.
But
had nothing to do with his individual.
It's a very error-filled stat.
Yeah.
There's something called real plus-minus, which takes into account a lot of factors. So all you could be the worst player in the world, but having a great plus-minus just because the lineup that you play with is really good. I forgot, was it Cephalosha when he played for OKC? He did not obviously do a lot for that team. He was a decent defensive player, but when he started with Russ and when he was in with that awesome lineup back in the day, his plus minus was great. Yeah. But it doesn't mean you're
Did he actually impact the team?
Impact the game. Yeah. So,
but anyway,
Yeah, so Pacers won that game 107-100 of the Jazz. The next game, obviously, they lost. Boston Celtics 109-100.
gotta keep that streak going.
I don't remember. Did we all pick the Celtics to win that game? I think we did.
I think we all did pick the Celtics
Ross
to win
double
that
check
game.
this.
I will check. We all picked the Celtics, correct?
I'll pick
So,
the Celtics.
nice
Big game
choice
for Paul
there.
George, 30-plus points. The only issue I had with that is he led the team in turnovers. He had 5 turnovers. Obviously, he may be forcing some stuff, trying to make some plays.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. But, it'd be nice to cut that down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, five isn't a huge number, especially for a superstar. But yeah, it's too much, and we'll talk about it later. But the ball is in his hands a lot more recently in the offense. What I like that Nate is doing is that the offense gets him the ball sooner in the shot clock. So he's not usually with that pin down offense, he's getting the ball with 8 seconds left. Mm-hmm. He needs the ball off the first pass, even if it's just to reverse the ball. The defense, they're focusing in on him, and when he doesn't have the ball till late in the shot clock, it's easier to just deny him an easy shot.
I don't have a lot to say on this game. This continues the streak of win-losses by the Pacers. Yeah. Franchise record 15 straight. They were close to the NBA record, which is 17 or something like that straight.
Come on, Pacers, go for the record.
Yeah. So
instead, they lose to the Nuggets here at home. The Nuggets evidently are the Pacers' new Charlotte Hornets. Compared to last year, we lose by 8. It was a bigger discrepancy though than 8 points.
Yeah, 8 points. They were right in that game.
No.
No, not even close.
Well, when you shoot 43 free throws to the Pacers
11.
Gallinari himself had 18. That's a huge difference because the Pacers shot better overall. They shot 50% field goal, 54 from the 3. Nuggets were 47 and 25 from 3-point line. Those free throws were a huge difference, and Jokic had his way as well. double, 30 and 17.
Jokic, Joker, whatever
But
you want to call him.
I mean, one thing I have a problem with here. I mean, first of all, the Denver Nuggets have no business scoring 125 points versus a team that only, plays one player with less than 5 years of experience. I mean, think about that for a second. The Nuggets start how many guys who have only been in the league for 3 years?
Gallinari is the only guy who's been in the league for a long time
Yeah.
on their starting lineup.
So I have a significant problem with them, obviously only scoring 100 or letting up 125 points. But the free throw discrepancy. Do you guys follow the Pacers on Instagram? I assume you do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So do you watch Miles Turner warming up before the game, like with the pad, Bill Bano? It's called
He's got the arms
Yeah.
and he's like jabbing him every time he
He
goes.
fades away on everything. I mean, even against like Bill Bano, practicing against him, he's so soft around the rim. I mean, every shot, it feels like he's avoiding contact. And I thought that, a huge point of this offseason was that he was going to, he contorts his body. Like, we watch his legs flail and just try everything he can to avoid contact. He should shoot 8 free throws a game, minimum. And there's no reason Paul George shouldn't shoot 8 free throws a game. But these guys, Miles Turner shies away from contact. Paul George is more of a finesse player just to begin with. But we have guys who shy away from contact. That means Nuggets shoot 43 free throws. They hit 40 of them, which is outstanding, by the way. And the Pacers just shoot 11.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the point. When you see that kind of discrepancy, your first thought is, refs. No, it's the other team is more
Style of
aggressive
play.
attacking the basket, whereas the Pacers are fading away or taking more jump shots. You got to attack the rim to get the refs on your side,
Yeah.
to at least call something for you.
Maybe we can add, I don't know if we can add this Instagram clip, but it's just so bad. He makes a move. This is against Bill Bano with a pad before the game, and he just flails his body in a
It
way to
didn't look
avoid
very-
contact.
Yeah.
And it's just disappointing because I thought this big thing this year was, adding strength and being more physical.
He has been playing better of late, Miles Turner. Better, more aggressive, but not towards
not
the
as
rim
strong,
aggressive.
Not as strong. He needs to be physical.
More
around
confidence.
He needs to go attack the contact.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Add that to the list of many things we'd like to see the Pacers improve.
we should just coach them or something. I don't know.
Hey, but they did win, guys. They did get a win.
Against
Against
the
who?
76ers.
Oh, that's
107-94.
And this is a game too where we were up a lot more in the end, in the fourth quarter, than we only won by 13, which is when your second unit comes in and likes to. Well, did you guys see the Clippers? I guess we can talk about it later. You see the Clippers lose to Sacramento the other night?
Yeah.
That was bad. That was the worst
Say
defeat I've
that
ever seen in
one.
my life. Anyways,
Sorry, Zach.
No, what I was going to say is, we've been talking about Miles Turner. At least, it's against the 76ers. They're kind of depleted. They traded Noel and Embiid's out, so there's not a ton of big men
Okafor
on the
didn't play
team.
either, did he?
Okafor,
I don't think he
He
did.
played, 17 and 16 on Miles. That's nice to see, but it's also kind of like, well, he did that against.
he needs to do
76ers.
that. He needs to do that against teams.
He needs to do it
that-
every night.
Yeah, he needs to have that every night.
Yeah.
But I think the big news here is obviously Big Al Jefferson out negative on the MRI and X-rays, but he's going to be out for a while. For a big man like that, when you roll your ankle, it's going to take a long time because
Isn't it kind of embarrassing to have the wheelchair take you out when it's not broken? I know it was a bad sprain.
That's
It
a
looked
big
bad,
dude, though.
but-
That's a big
Sprains
dude.
usually hurt worse than breaks, actually.
Yeah, you actually want, if you have a high ankle sprain, you actually want that ankle to break.
That's what I've
Actually,
heard,
when I
yeah.
had my ankle sprained, they were talking to me about breaking my ankle because that would heal
bones
faster.
heal faster than the stretched ligaments and stuff.
Yeah. So it's not good.
Yeah, the
But-
injury bug was the big talk that game.
Yeah.
So Al was down. Glenn Robinson was already out with the calf strain. And then Rodney went down. I didn't see what happened with him. It was something with a hamstring again or something like that.
That was knee. I don't
Knee,
know.
was it?
I don't know.
He's always injured.
It's stucky. But guys are going to have to step now. Rakeem comes back now, obviously. He's going to have some more minutes, which I like because,
Yep.
As Nate Taylor said, his experience, it can only get better with more experience,
Yeah,
which
that's
is the type of information that I
intelligent.
want a Pacers insider. I want him sitting in the front row of those at Bankers Live
Bankers Live,
because
baby.
he can give us that inside information.
The only way
that
you win
no
is
one
you
else
score
can.
more points. Oh, thanks. That's really great.
I'm sorry. I like Nate Taylor, but I miss Candace a little bit.
I don't like when they just tweet out, here's the score at halftime. Like,
What do you
thanks,
think?
I could have looked that up myself. Give me a little bit more here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we've been up and down all season. So
Just like Nate Taylor.
Yeah.
Just like Nate Taylor, but
We are not having him on the show.
it's kind of weird. I guess it's the state of the Eastern Conference, but we've been up and down all year. We're 14 or 15 games of win, loss, and then
Yeah.
you look at the standings, and we still have a shot. We're tied for fifth right now.
Yeah, imagine they win.
We're tied for fifth right now?
Yes,
5,
tied
6,
for
and
fifth.
7.
All right,
tied.
but that's all super tight, though, too. Like that
Milwaukee,
Well,
could be
I'm
second.
just saying that it's just
Atlanta.
the state of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
we've
the
been
East sucks.
playing so bad, yet we still have a shot for the fifth seed.
The Bucks have
But-
been playing really well.
but we're only 2 games out of
Not the
playoff
playoffs.
Not making the playoffs.
So it's tight. It's been a bad year. I mean,
Yeah.
I had that bold prediction where I predicted that the Pacers could slip out of the playoffs. I mean, if you look at it, Nate McMillan is hired to do a faster pace offense when he has a history of being one of the slowest pace coaches in the league, and now the Pacers have a slower pace offense than last year with Frank Vogel. And unless they got hot, they wouldn't beat their record from last year that they had with Frank Vogel. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team obviously has had some issues, and we could talk about this kind of in our season review episode. Anyways, let's get back to something that happened after we lost to the... Who did we lose
Friday night's
to?
game.
That's the Celtics game or the
No,
Nuggets
after
game?
the Nuggets game. After the Nuggets game, Paul George, in his brown towel in the locker room, as usual.
His brown towel.
Hugging his brown
Those
towel.
disgusting brown towels. Says that he's talking about his game in his usual Paul George way, where he says,
Lack
guys,
of urgency. Guys are
I
playing.
hear, if I don't pass the ball, then I'm a ball hog. And
Is that Mark Monteith interviewing him?
I don't know. Someone asked him, "Is that coming from inside the locker room or outside the locker room?" And he says, "No comment." And
Which
it's
is
like,
code
come
for
on.
inside the locker
It's
room.
like, come on. There's no reason for you to be saying that. So, who do you guys think it is? I'll just go with that first. Who do you think in the locker room Paul George is not getting along with?
I was talking with Evan today about this. Who thinks that they are more of a star than Paul George? I can't see Miles Turner saying something like this. You want to go to Monte Ellis, but he's come off the bench.
No, he's starting now. I think it was Monte.
Monte's the one you could see as a cancer. Teague was here to give the ball to other players. Al Jefferson? I
No.
can't
I
think of
think-
anybody besides Monte.
I think it was maybe like a backhanded comment from Nate, or maybe something that Monte
coaching.
said, but I wouldn't put too much value on it. I mean, it's Paul, it's PG. We love PG, but
Pacers are already trying to say, please stay, so this isn't
Yeah,
helping.
I mean, it's just PG venting after a really bad loss, and that's what we can expect from Paul George. Don't interview Paul George after a terrible loss at home where you let up 125 points, and expect him to be like, yeah, I mean, we
love
just
it.
didn't come out with the dub tonight, but the Sixers on Sunday. It's like, no, it's not happening.
I agree with Alex. It's probably like Nate McMillan, like just in discussion, like
that
what,
kind of comment. And
like you're holding the ball too much. Pass a little bit more. Like, like I'm not to word it right, but
it's
like,
a traditional coach after the game comment where it's like, next game we got to move the ball better, and then you give the side
PG's
glance.
slightly sensitive, so he's going to remember all this
Yeah.
stuff and bring it up.
I mean, these things, the media is going to blow up. The mainstream Pacers media, all you people, you know who you are, Nate Taylor. I'm just kidding.
Man.
But, it happens. But honestly, it's one of those things you have to let it go here.
Keep talking. I'm going to.
I mean, there could be an instance where, I've heard people talk, whether it be on Twitter or the message boards on Pacers Digest, how this is just Paul being Paul the whole season. He's
Paul
been
being Paul.
complaining all year. Some people are saying he's already got 1 foot out the door, and he's just continuing that path. But like I said, it's a backhanded comment.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on here. Who needs to move on? Coaching changes. Let's not get there.
That's
yet.
probably a bigger topic
That-
for another time.
Yeah, and I think you have to let the season play out here, especially. You can't really get too interested there.
My favorite topic here is Zach. He can go with that last
one?
one. Make the suffering stop.
Oh, make the suffers.
When will the season end?
Well, that was it's referring to a group text that we have. I was complaining about, these games and when is the season going to end for us, because, it's to the point now as a Pacers fan, do you want them to make the playoffs? Because once you get in the playoffs, do you really think this team is going to do any damage? Do they have a chance at the title? No. So if you're that close to coming out of the playoffs, why not try to improve your draft stock?
This is a topic I want to write for iPacers blog coming up here about being right in the middle like the Pacers have been, besides the Miles Turner and the Paul George years when they got top 10, top 11 draft picks. Otherwise, you sit right in that middle, and it doesn't do a whole lot for you. If you
That's when
get
you're in
6, 7, or 8 in the playoffs, it's
It's when you're in that Tyler Hansborough range, and it's just,
Well, I mean, there is value to having your
when you
franchise
got,
go
we
to the
talked about
playoffs.
that though. When you got young guys, we
yeah,
don't have.
but also, I mean,
guys.
I would say, the East is a lot better than it has been in past years, but it's not like the Boston Celtics are, completely dominant to the Indiana Pacers, because the Celtics have had poor stretches. As good as the Wizards have been playing, they also started off the season terribly, and there are some weaknesses in that team. I think at the power forward position, I think if Miles Turner could have a strong run, he could have a good game, a good series against the Wizards or other teams like that. I don't know. I don't know right now. I mean, I want them to go to the playoffs. I don't think,
I always,
especially if you're not going to be in the top 5 of this draft. I think this draft is deep enough for you to have a pick in the mid-teens and be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I want to see a playoff game no matter what, but still, it gets frustrating in a way. You'd like to see some kind of change when you have a season like this where it doesn't feel like you're going anywhere.
I mean, this is off topic, but I mean, kind of on topic, but if you get the better draft position, the talk around that I've heard is that the Pacers, no matter what, that first-round pick isn't going to get used.
Getting shopped.
It's getting shopped, whether that be trying to get Paul George help to help him stay, or it's being shopped to improve their package for a trade for getting rid of Paul George, sending him somewhere.
I don't. If they're going to send Paul George away, trading away your draft pick is like,
unless you're getting,
it's like,
what I'm saying is,
I don't.
what I'm saying,
you think
though,
they're going to get like even a better package?
No, I'm saying is if you have to swap a first round pick and you have the 17th
swap
pick
a first round pick. Oh, okay.
Maybe first pick.
Let's just hope it never gets to that point.
That's for this.
I just feel like it's gonna. This whole discussion that we had over the trade deadline about what's going to happen once after the lottery, and then especially when it gets close to the draft, it's all just going to pick up again. I don't think the Paul George drama is done.
Oh no, for sure not.
I agree. All right, let's move on here. We're going to a game tomorrow. The 3 of us.
Yeah.
Look
so
out
fans,
for us.
if you're going to be there,
shout us out.
Tweet us. We'll come find you.
Yell at us. Do whatever you got to do to get our attention. They play the T-Wolves tomorrow night, who have played better since the All-Star break. Obviously still out of playoff contention, but I think that team's starting to gel a bit. He's finally playing Tyus Jones some. I think out of necessity, because isn't Chris Dunn injured? Or is he done for the year or something like that? I don't know. Could someone Google that really quick?
I've seen a lot more.
But Tyus Jones has been playing really well. Rubio's really playing well as well. I think he had a 20-assist game the other night. Karl Anthony Towns playing well. Andrew Wiggins playing well. So this is a team that brings a lot of energy, and they're just playing they just want to win games right now. They don't have any playoff hopes. So this is a scary team, too, because they have nothing to lose. They're going to go out and just play really hard, and they've got some talent, young talent on the team.
This is a game I'm looking forward to. Like I told Ross this over the weekend when we were doing the Corner 3 tournament when I'm ready to see. I haven't seen Wiggins play in person. I haven't seen Towns play in person. I'm just looking forward to seeing that. He's supposed. Towns is the next best big man in the league. I'm ready to see that in person. I feel bad for Miles Turner.
But No, Chris Dunn isn't injured, by the way. He had career high 17 points last night. But they're playing together well, I think, is the thing. And I think the team that a lot of people thought about before the season with Thibodeau and this young core is kind of emerging now. I think, it takes some time, obviously, with a new coach. It's kind of like what the Pacers hoped to happen with McMillan, that, the first half of the season was a little rough, but after the All-Star break, kind of pulled together, and we haven't seen that with the Pacers. But Timberwolves, provided a very interesting matchup.
I got the Pacers.
I was going to ask, Pacers all the way around?
I'm going to go Timberwolves here.
Just trying to make up ground.
Because at this point I don't care. Next game is at Memphis. So this is interesting because the Grizzlies have been really up and down and more on the downside.
4-6 out of the last 10.
4-6 out of the last 10. It's a back-to-back for the Pacers. But the Grizzlies have struggled recently. I've been watching. I follow them on Instagram, and Fitzdale just looks miserable. I mean, he's like, we just can't. We don't think. And I mean, it's interesting too because it is a veteran team, so they're having some struggles there. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last year of that core. I think Randolph's probably maybe gone. Allen's maybe gone, but I don't know. Parsons is out for the season. No real wing matchups for PG, so that could be a big game for him. Other than Allen, if Allen really shuts him down.
This feels like a game the Pacers should win.
Yeah.
This is a game where you see all the injuries.
Kind.
You see,
yeah.
They're playing bad, up and down. But we got this. I'm taking the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I'm taking the Grizzlies. Back-to-back game they should win. It's when they lose.
I got Grizzlies too, but now I think they should. I'm taking the Pacers over the Timberwolves tomorrow.
Ooh, Ross, he might be catching up to you after this.
I'm
or
changing.
I gained 2 games.
So Pacers over the Timberwolves tomorrow.
Yeah, but you're keeping with the Grizzlies.
Keeping with the Grizzlies here.
All right.
The 31st is Friday night, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
They'll be at
Friday.
Toronto.
Yeah.
We'll be playing them next Tuesday as well. But so far, we're 0-1 this season. Toronto is 7-3 in the last 10. Obviously, Lowry's still out, but you still have you've got
a solid core: DeRozan, Ibaka.
Yeah, everybody Powell. This is a team. It's funny when we played them a couple years in the playoffs and we beat them. It was like, they ain't nothing. Now that we're playing them, they're probably like, Pacers ain't nothing.
Yeah.
It's funny how the roles have switched, and I just hate it because I miss being in the Eastern Conference Finals. I got the Raptors.
Yeah, I'll take the Raptors here as well. Hopefully no one gets punched on the Pacers by Serge Ibaka, but either way, I think the Raptors will
How
prevail.
long was that suspension?
Just one game.
Just one game.
This one game. Which is surprising because that was one of the few actual fights that I've seen in the NBA. Most of them are just the, hold me back, I'm going to act all big and puff my chest. But that one was, both punches missed, but those were two legitimate punches thrown.
The guy
yeah, they were swinging to hurt the guy. They weren't just holding me back stuff. So that was.
I was amazed how they missed, though.
I was surprised that they only had one game too, though, because if those punches land, you're talking 10-game suspension. I wholeheartedly believe that if those punches landed, because those would have been real punches.
This was Robin Lopez and
Serge. Yeah. Anyways, we have the Cavs then on the 2nd of April, right before our Corner 3 live show at Sun King.
This is a Sunday. So
This is
2 days
Sunday.
before our live show. Pacers have only lost once on Sunday this year.
Yeah, but it's also the Cavs. The Cavs have been struggling. At
In
Cleveland. The Cavs have been struggling. LeBron just called it the most, I don't know what the exact word he said, but it's the most difficult or challenging year of his career thus far because they've had a lot of injuries. They've been up and down. Their defense is really bad right now. They lost to the Nuggets themselves in Denver. I don't know. This is one the Pacers could steal.
I'm taking the Pacers here. I'm going to keep their Sunday streak alive. I think they'll catch the Cavs at a bad time. They just came off a 2-game losing streak with the Grizzlies
LeBron could
and
rest.
Raptors.
I got the Pacers.
I have the Cavs.
I have the Pacers.
Wait, what? Don't you dare.
Never mind.
I have the Pacers.
I just can't see the Pacers winning. I think that's gonna be a bad stress. That means if you look at this, that means they're gonna go
2-2 in a week.
1-3 for me, 2-2 for you guys.
Yeah. 2-2 is pretty
Well,
average, which
if
is
we
what
go
they're all
1-3
about.
through the
That's what
week.
the Pacers
and
do, man.
Everybody keeps their streaks up. We're out of the playoff spot by next Tuesday.
Oh, Zach.
Just saying.
It's true, though.
My predictions.
Also, you automatically will win our pick'em contest if we keep the streak up. You have a 6-game lead on everybody.
That's great. Anyways, so let's go around the association for a second. We have Devin Booker scoring 70 points. I'm going to go to Zach first. Zach, your initial reaction when you heard that Devin Booker had scored 70 points.
You texted us first, anyway. So
Oh yeah, I did let you know.
Yeah.
Because I think you guys were out partying.
No, I knew about it.
maybe.
Oh, you knew about it?
Yeah, I got an ESPN alert.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Devin Booker. Devin Booker, the dude from Kentucky that never started at Kentucky.
Yeah, he started at Kentucky.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. He was
He's
off the
never
bench.
started at Kentucky.
He came off the bench at Kentucky.
Wow.
And now look at him. He's getting 70 points, but Celtics are known for playing decent defense, I guess. Is this true? He had 54 points,
51.
51, and then like the last 3 minutes or so, he hit the. Someone told me that today.
He had 51 points in the second half, and I don't
Someone
know.
said the last 3 minutes he went off and had like another 12 or 15 points.
I don't know. He is something else because to score 51 points in one half alone from the 70 is absolutely crazy, especially when you have he didn't have like a hot first half. He had like a pretty good first half. So like he wasn't going into the locker room thinking I'm going to go for 70. He was in the locker room like, okay, maybe get 40, and he just goes off. So that was the most surprising thing for me.
How many threes did he take, too? It was only like
only
8
11
or
threes
11.
and only
There
made
we go.
4.
11.
So the 4 threes is crazy because, I don't know if you've read the book of basketball Bill Simmons wrote, but he was talking about one of the chapters is 100 points attainable again in a game. And, if Kobe Bryant just makes, 3 more threes here, makes this many more free throws, and just makes this many more layups, he's at 100. Like, it is attainable. And for him to only make 4 threes and hit 70 points is just unbelievable to me.
So is Devin Booker a future All-Star, future Hall of Famer, future
I think
star
ever since
in this
his
league?
rookie year, everybody's been saying he's got the potential.
He's a pure scorer. Yeah. He's got size, which you can't really tell because he still has he looks like he's 12 years old.
Little kid.
But he's a beast.
My favorite thing though was they all took the group photo and they put it on Instagram, and Jay Crowder commented, "I've never seen a group so excited about Nell."
Yeah, it's true though. They started
something to cheer for.
They started the youngest lineup in NBA history there. Ulyss is 21, Booker is 20, Chris is 19. What's the guy who Derek Jones, the dunk participant?
Junior.
He's 20 as well, and then Lynn is 23. They're the only younger starting lineup in the NCAA tournament was Purdue. How crazy is that?
You mean they had it in the whole NCAA?
No, in the Sweet 16 at least.
Okay.
How crazy is that?
It's a young
No
team.
other NCAA team was younger.
I guess the Suns, their season's over anyway, so it's like, let's just start all the young guys, see what we got going forward here. And
Well, we don't have this written out here, but this is a point we can talk about with the everyone talking about the prospects in the draft. But Oregon has a starting shooting guard, Dylan Ennis, who's 25 years old, a
Tyler
six-year senior, older brother of Tyler Ennis.
Yes.
Older brother Tyler Ennis, and he is 25 years old. And you have a guy like Gary Harris, he's 22 years old, who played 2 years at Michigan State, and now it's his third year in the Nuggets, and he's playing exceptionally well. That's why when you have guys who are like 18, 19, but maybe aren't as developed as a senior, that's why you go with the prospect most of the time, because those guys are so much younger. I mean, Gary Harris is an exception because he's actually closer to my class than he was. Like he played up 2 years. Like he could have graduated in my year, which is crazy to think about, 2014 in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when you look at prospects and we look at a guy like Harry Giles or some of these guys who maybe didn't pan out as well as people thought they would, you're probably going to go with the prospect over the fifth-year senior here in a lot of situations.
Makes me think of like Melo Trimble or Ivan Rabb at California, guys who came back for 1 more year or 2 more years, and how much they've hurt their draft stock, I think, in doing so. Because when you're the still unknown raw talent, the NBA team's going to take more of a flyer on you than second or third year player.
I mean,
We're
also,
like, I already see what we got here.
Trimble should have taken the money because he hasn't had a career since at Maryland. But some of these guys like Trimble, though, they were older when they got to college. So like Gary Harris was 17 until I think his birthday is in October. So he was 17 on a college Big Ten campus. That's crazy to think about. But Melo Trimble, I think, was already 19, almost turning 20 his freshman year. So you have guys who are a lot older there. That's why when a guy like Malcolm Brogdon pans out as a senior pick, he's 23 years old. He's older than Bradley Beal, who's been in the league for, I feel like, 5 years, So that's just something to watch out when you think about prospects and the new look NBA, where, especially with the D-League team, you're more likely G-League team, you're more likely to put, a young prospect, let them develop over time and see what happens. So that's just something to look out for with the draft coming up.
I guess it kind of leads into the next subject, but you're talking about prospects and who do you take, in the draft, the prospect or the proven guy. Embiid had his surgery recently. Obviously, he's out. Is he like another Brandon Roy or Greg Oden? Is he going to wash out just because of these knee injuries, or do you think he can overcome these?
Who knows here? I mean,
he
want
only
him
played,
to so
30
bad.
games this season?
When he plays, I mean, there's no denying his talent. I mean, it's very similar to Brandon Roy or Oden. When they played, they were great. But with this situation, I mean, it's just tough to say here.
This is technically his third year in the league, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is his third year in the NBA. It's tough.
And
I mean,
it's
it's tough to think that they can make a long-term commitment here. The Sixers. I mean, the Sixers are in a really tough position now, because I mean, he is rookie deal plus his rookie extension. How much longer? I think it's only after next year they're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, isn't the rookie extension
just 4 years? It's
Yeah.
just 4 years. So they're going to have to make a decision here. I mean, you're going to have a pretty upset fan base if you don't re-sign him.
Because when he is on the court, he's worth it.
But if you
when
do
he's on the
that,
court,
I mean, but then you do that, you give him, it's not going to be a big contract compared to what's out there now, but say he does agree to a 3-year, $15 million a year, 3-year, 45. That's less than what most guys are going to be taking.
Yeah.
But, he might be saying, well, I've been injured.
It's gonna,
Let me do this. But then if you do that and he's injured 3/4 of the season like he is most of the time, or out a whole season, then you're just hurting your franchise. You took up cap space.
They're in a very difficult spot. I don't think there's any denying that.
It's all going to come down to next season, how many games he plays and what.
Next season is the make or break it year, because they can't afford, especially with a team that's been losing for so long, especially with Simmons now coming off of an injury as well. He's not going to play at all this year. You have to have players on the court who you can build around.
You got to show something. It's been 5 years now? 6 years.
You have to show
the
something here,
process?
and he's shown something, but you have to have
Show some
foundational
fans.
pieces. Right now, you're building around T.J. McConnell, and as much as I love to be him right now because he's like a 6-foot white guy who's just killing in the NBA.
He's actually pretty good. Yeah.
He's actually pretty good. I mean, you can't build around him for the
Shouldn't be
future.
your starter and your star.
No.
Yeah.
Moving on, the New York Knicks. Just some more fun for the New York Knicks. Joakim Noah suspended for 20 games for violating the drug policy in the NBA. I wasn't super surprised here. I don't think he's even been with the team because he has been injured. I think he's been off. I've seen him pictures on vacation.
I heard it was some over-the-counter stuff. So
Oh, really?
Nothing shady about it at all, but he should have known that will test him positive for some of these supplements and things.
Again, the league's worst contract, just
It doesn't
paying
help him.
dividends.
It doesn't help him either because technically, since he's injured, your suspension cannot start until you are able to play again.
Oh, really?
So if he's out the whole season, that suspension, he'll be suspended for the first 20 games next year.
And if
so
they
he
even
wouldn't be
keep-
back till Christmas.
If they even keep that contract or just try and buy him out, I don't
Thank
know the
goodness
details of that
we're not a Knicks
contract.
fan.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, even if they buy him out, then any team who signs him has to look at that contract, whatever they're picking up, and say, well, we won't even have him for the first 20 games. So,
If we have any New York Knicks fans listening to us, tweet me. Let me know how you feel besides Porzingis, because I would be just fascinated to be a fan of a team that's really has no future outside of one player.
hot take: Joakim Noah won't play in the NBA next year.
Oof. Buy him out. He'll do a Jamal Tinsley and bench him
He'll
kind
play
of thing.
next year. Somebody will
Somebody will take it.
He's not going to play the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Hot take: Joakim Noah doesn't play in the NBA next year. I don't think he plays at all next year, like anywhere. I think next year, I
Just
don't
takes
think
it
we.
off to
Yeah,
rest and
I don't know.
take
I think-
stock.
I can see someone like towards the end of the season, towards the playoffs, picking him up because they need a big man.
who
Suns
knows?
Just
pick
to go
him
out
up
there
for
and
veteran
fight.
His
leadership.
value, though, as far as the quote unquote new NBA, has just diminished.
Can't
because
shoot.
he can't shoot. He's a decent passer, but he's not mobile. He can't get up and down the floor anymore because of his injuries. I don't know. That's my hot take.
Ah,
Sticking to it.
it's interesting. Interesting.
Poor Noah.
So the Cavs and Wizards, they've had a interesting back and forth here the past few weeks. I mean, I think it's just a big part of the Cavs just don't know where they are. They don't have an answer for John Wall because he is the fastest person in the NBA. But he's also having an all-star year. It's not just that, against the Cavs, he's been good.
And
He's
Beal's actually healthy, and the Wizards are actually good.
Yeah.
It's just a unique year.
hmm
I just thought it was interesting. Wizards right now are third in the East.
Boston's number one, right?
Boston's 2.
I think they just moved up from
Well,
last night.
I copied it from this morning, unless
This morning?
it changed.
Oh,
Yeah, they're 2 games back.
They got
I
one
think.
more loss in the loss column than the Cavs, so technically they're still. I guess they're tied. Is technically what it says, but
yeah.
But if they keep doing the NBA rest issue, then they can definitely catch up.
you want to talk about that?
If they keep doing the NBA rest issue,
If they keep, well,
if they keep sitting people, it's a rest
we
issue.
merge topics together.
We merge
So
topics together.
The commissioner sent out to all the all the owners or all the general
Owners.
managers of the teams about the issue. We talked about this last week real quickly about
Mm-hmm.
what they should do to alleviate the rest issues where LeBron sits and all that stuff. So they just talked to the team saying, hey, nationally televised games, the big ones, let us know ahead of time because a lot of these companies are spending big money to sponsor these games. And then when the big guys are out, it doesn't look so good on us. You can rest guys, but give us a little bit of a heads up kind of a thing.
but also, the letter said don't rest guys. The attitude was don't rest guys.
And
but
we'll do our most to help you with that, with shortening the season where we can, no back-to-backs where we can.
yeah, and the new CBA is going to be huge with that when that happens. When everything gets sorted out, I assume. We don't know the details of the new CBA, obviously, but hopefully that can be sorted out to the point where we don't have this issue. It's still going to be there because it does make sense to rest players, so coaches aren't going to just stop resting players. And also we're only talking about the best teams
It's
in the
only
NBA.
like 3 teams in the NBA who do this.
Yeah,
Pacers
so-
never because they're terrible.
It's the best teams in the NBA, so you have to also take that into consideration here in teams that can afford it.
But these guys need to realize the reason why they're getting this new CBA, these bigger contracts, all this stuff is because of this marketing and promotional money coming from TV
Yeah.
and everywhere else. So when the people that are actually helping pay for your salary are not getting their return on what they were, told they were going to get.
It's not their call to sit, though. It means the coaches
Well,
and the medical
for
staff.
LeBron,
think
for
LeBron
LeBron,
has
it's
done
for
that?
LeBron, it's his
Yeah.
call. For San Antonio, I think Pop does what he wants to do, but I think LeBron just says, I need to rest my body here, and you know what? I'm not going to argue with him because he knows his body like anyone else, and also he just put on one of the best performances of all time last year in the playoffs. So
Someone put up a stat. He's played the same number of minutes now in his career as Jordan did his entire career.
yeah, he's played a lot of minutes, and if this happened in college basketball, there wouldn't be any discussion about it. If a team had something solidified, but college basketball isn't set up for that way. You need to win every game for your seeding. With NBA, you have a long grind. You have the most physical players on the planet, and I don't think you can ever get rid of resting. I think you can just reduce it as much as possible by giving these players as much rest with off days and with as little back-to-backs as possible, and you can do that in the CBA, and I think that the Players Association and the owners have to make that a priority going forward.
I totally agree.
Because the players are going to make more money, too, if they could get as many primetime games as possible. This whole players-only thing on Monday nights and Tuesday nights has given, a lot of NBA teams that didn't have a major market night on national television a chance to put themselves on display. So, I mean, the more times that you can count on a star player being on the court, it's better for the players. More money to them.
They got to get on the court first.
They got to get on the court.
It just rubs me wrong.
So TNT predictions, Ross?
You want to go to that next?
Yeah.
Sure. So, when is that? The 30th?
30th.
Thursday. Cavs at Bulls. The Bulls love to play in prime time, though. Your first gut reactions, you want to call
Cavs.
Cavs. Really?
Well, I mean, Wade's out. Bulls are in disarray. They pretty much suck.
Yeah.
Cavs.
I mean, I'm not going to catch Zach anyway, so I'm going to take the Bulls on this one.
We have Rockets at Blazers next. Rockets are hot. Blazers are hot. Damian Lillard has been on fire since the All-Star break, trying to make a last-second push. Did they move into the? I think they did. Yeah, they moved into the 8th spot, right?
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, they passed the Nuggets.
Yeah.
They switched with the Nuggets. So Blazers are making a push here. I'm going to take the Blazers here. Actually, it's in Portland, which is a very tough place to play, the Moda Center, especially for a primetime game like that. It feels like a Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum both get really hot. I feel like I'll take the Blazers there.
I'll take the Blazers.
Taking the Blazers. I'm gonna go with my MVP,
James Harden.
Harden.
He's been a beast, though.
Rockets.
I can't even say anything there. So closing up here, again, look out for our Corner 3 Sun Kingdom announcement. We'll make sure to put that out tomorrow. We may cut this out today, so just we can make the announcement tomorrow. I don't know yet. Anyways, look out. Block out your Tuesday evening.
What
next
else are you
week.
doing on a Tuesday night? I mean, really? Come on.
Just come out and listen to us, meet and greet. We can maybe even have you on the pod itself. So just come out. We'd love to see you there. For our Corner 3 today, we're not going to do any questions, but we're going to play a game of Knockout because you can see for us on YouTube, there is a way to watch us there. You won't hear this in the podcast. You won't hear just, swish of the net.
Exclusive.
Swish, swish,
I mean,
swoosh.
I got a tight, armed.
He's making excuses
buttonless
already.
shirt
Shades are
on.
too big. They
So-
don't
It
fit.
might be kind of
So
hard
stay
for
tuned
me.
on YouTube. But that does it for us in the Corner 3 show. And thanks for watching, people.
See ya.
Wait, don't go yet. Where can they find us, people?
Oh, where can
Yeah, on Twitter, and Instagram, and Facebook.
Oh, Ross just covered it all. Peace.
No.